Russians like to joke that if you wake up and nothing's hurting, it means you're dead. So even if I had any reservations about the legitimacy of my post-resurrection existence, now they were completely dispelled. I was well and truly alive, because a body just can't hurt so much in the afterlife. All my limbs were aching like I'd just recovered from a long bout of fever. A nagging pain filled my freshly decorated belly. My head was the only piece of good news. It was perfectly light and clear. I can't overestimate the benefits of dying for the purpose of clearing your mind and reloading your life. Highly recommended. Provided you're in possession of Saviour's avatar, of course. Otherwise the consequences might not be quite so rosy. And still, despite all my aches and pains, I somehow managed to hobble along, all on my own, without Litius' help. My body must have gradually realized that shirking wasn't an option, and started to turn on. For instance, all of a sudden I felt terribly hungry. As if to please, a wonderful smell of roasting wafted over the community. Some pork or bacon and potatoes. It took all of my willpower to walk past the tavern without choking on my own saliva. First, we had to find out what was really going on with both Arts and Trog. The local governor lived in by far the biggest and weirdest house in the entire community, which really stood apart from all the other buildings. Not a house even, but rather a small palace or a really big mansion. Also, it seemed to be completely cut into a cliff, which made it a natural continuation of the mountain. The wooden window frames couldn't open, apparently made to last forever, glazed not with glass, but with murky sheets of mica. I bet they'd let very little light inside. They must have hired a mason to decorate the stonework, but he hadn't done a very good job of it, I'm afraid. All the fancy carvings could have been better done by a preschooler. "This is limestone," Litius offered, thinking that I was trying to guess the type of stone. "Very similar to what you've got in Cesspit. Purgatory is actually very similar to your world. With the exception of giant praying mantises and tiger goats." The beast man shrugged. I took another look at the 2-story building, fashioned out of the mountain. The upstairs lights were on, meaning that the owner was at home. No guards were posted outside. I walked over and knocked hard and loud on the wooden door, distressed by the weathering of time. I had to wait for quite a while. Still, I showed no impatience. I could hear some activity within. Eventually, the door was answered. By whom? By my old friend, Rock. No, not the actor, neither the wrestler. It was one of the local players who'd been chasing after Arts and myself the last time we'd been in Vierhort. One of the governor's goons. Luckily, he didn't recognize me.